Good evening, Commissioners. The previous speaker said that the neighbors are really asking for it. The neighbors are not asking for this. Let's get back to reality. I find it interesting that this coming back to the Planning Commission at what, middle of July when no one is around? I mean, that's pretty brilliant, but it was expected. Middle of July, so half the people are away or the heat and all that. The neighbors are not looking for it. They're not asking for it. In fact, they've opposed it vehemently. There were how many open houses? Every open house was a disaster. Majority opposed it. You've gotten about 500 emails against it. And now, Commissioner Gonzalez asked a good question. How is this a new application? The one that got rejected in December of 2022, it got rejected 5-2, and that was 262 units, this is 255 units. Granted, the commercial area next to it is taken away to 2 acres, as Commissioner Kaminsky mentioned. So that brings up the density now to 38. It used to be 32. That's the question they asked Mr. Barnes, I think. It used to be 30, now it's 38, because the denominator is less. And if you don't measure to the middle of the street, it's really over 40. So it's a pretty dense project. Again, you had over 500 emails that should have really been included in this because this is essentially the same project. The reason that most residents oppose this is not the project itself. There's nothing wrong with the project itself because they see all these apartments popping up. They know that there's 14,000 apartments in the pipeline. They know that. So you as commissioners, it's called the Planning Commission, the word plan, you should put this within the context of everything else that's in the pipeline. By itself is great, but when you put it within the context, you're overbuilding. And I find it funny that, McCormick Ranch approved this. I just looked up the board of McCormick Ranch is 9 people. The residents of McCormick Ranch are 27,000 people. So either 9 or the majority being 5 voted for this. That's not McCormick Ranch neighbors approving it. Many of them are opposing it. And finally, you have no obligation to rezone. If there's this much neighbor opposition, and you know it, it's in all the letters and all the open houses, it's essentially the same project. If so many neighbors oppose, there's no entitlement here. You have no obligation to rezone. And if the neighborhood input means nothing, I went to some of those neighborhoods that, the last couple of open houses, everybody's opposed to it. The applicant makes no changes. So what is it, just all lip service? People show up, complain, and the applicant makes no changes, and you approve it. That's not a good scenario to earn public trust in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pejman.